Normally, everybody is allowed to make decisions based on how they feel. We all have freedom of expression, freedom to do whatever we want to do, freedom of movement, but there are some decisions we make that might not really be good enough, especially when it has to do with this issue. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tobi-Oba Wilson. If you are seeing my face for the first time, welcome to my channel. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much. You are the best. In today's video, I want to talk about some reasons why people don't like to go to the hospital, or should I say, why they don't like to visit the hospital. The reasons are not far-fetched. One of them is that people don't like to go to the hospital because they are scared that their case might get worsened and it might lead to something more dangerous for their health. Some might end up not even coming back from the hospital. Some might even resolve to do a kind of surgery that can maim their life or give them another status for life. Another reason why people don't like to go to the hospital whenever they are sick is because they are scared. They don't like taking medication. In the hospital, normally you have to take medication just to get better, but people generally, most people don't like to take medication. They don't like to swallow. I've got somebody that doesn't like to take any medication that he needs to swallow. He prefers to take the liquid one, or just because of, I don't know why. And if you know that if you go to the hospital, you have to take medication, you might be injected, things like that. And because of the phobia they have for swallowing, especially medication, because they believe it's bitter, it has some awkward taste, they don't want to go to the hospital. Because if you're in the hospital, the nurses, the nursing assistants, the health professionals, cajole you, try to assure you, try to encourage you to take the medication just to get better. And because that's why you're in the hospital, you are left with no choice than to take it. Even though you can decide, you can refuse not to take it, and there's nothing anybody can do. But if you're in the hospital, you still have people that will encourage you, reassure you, cajole you in a way to take it because it's for your own good. Another reason why people don't like to go to the hospital whenever they are sick is because of the fear of being admitted. At times you just go to the hospital to make some complaints, and if after a series of tests and the doctor, they may feel that you need to stay back in the hospital so that they can check you, so they can monitor you, they need to be admitted. So people don't want that because they believe whenever they are admitted, that means their cases are serious. And most times it's not always that. It's just for you to be under close monitoring for some hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, or a couple of days just to get better. And they don't want to do that. So because of that, they prefer to manage themselves at home or do some self-medication to get better. Another reason people don't like to go to the hospital whenever they're sick is because of the atmosphere. To be honest, when you're in the hospital, there is all kind of distraction, noises, footsteps, different patients in a hospital with different medical needs, and you can't really have your privacy. You can't sleep in peace because of distraction with here and there. And at the same time, nurses are going about because they need to attend to you at different time, so they need to wake you up, tell you need to do this now, you need to go for surgery. They're just coming to take your ups, depending on what kind of treatment you're on. So because of this distraction, the noise, people don't like to go to the hospital. Another reason people don't like to go to the hospital is because of the menu. Normally when you're in a different place, even if you visit your friends, you can't eat the kind of food that you would like to take if you're in your own house. This is because you're in a new environment. The hospital food is designed in a way to meet with your medical needs. If you are diabetic, you are not expected to be given food that contains a lot of carbs or sugar. So they try to work out your menu based on your medical condition, and because of your own lifestyle, your taste bud, where you are used to, you don't feel comfortable eating that kind of food. So because of that, people believe that their choices or their taste, their options are limited in terms of menu when they're in the hospital. Another reason is the bed in which they sleep on. They believe the bed is not comfortable enough. Normally, this is not your house and the hospital. There's one they can fit in a kind of bed, your king size bed in the hospital because of space, and because the kind of bed that we use in the hospital has to be the type that is movable. It's if it needs to be transferred and maybe not mobile at this time, the kind of bed in the hospital are the type that have wheels so that they can move you, transfer you from one place to another. So you can have your own kind of comforts in the hospital like you're going to have in the house. So because of that, people don't want to come to the hospital because they believe they're going to be uncomfortable, they're going to be inconvenienced for the period of time they're going to be in the hospital. Another reason is that people miss their lifestyle. Some people like to drink, they like to smoke, but even in the hospital, because of your health, you might be like hotels, you might be like decline some things you are used to, the kind of lifestyle you are used to because of your health. Especially when you're in hospital and you haven't gotten the capacity to decide on some things for yourself. Maybe family members are the ones that get to that, and the hospital believes that, or the doctor, the nurse believes that it's not good for your health. You might be like restrained from doing that thing, but if you insist anyway, they allow you to do that because you have your own rights to do whatever you want to do. But most times, people don't feel comfortable to go to the hospital because they believe they cannot spend their lives the way they want to spend it, they like to spend it, or the way they usually spend it, whenever, when they're at home. Another reason people don't like visiting the hospital when they are sick is because they believe they're going to be stressed, they're going to be bored, they won't have access to some social media activities that they are used to, because you can have a personal TV to yourself, and that you might not be given a private room depending on your case, and because they need to share space with other patients, so they believe the privacy is not there. There will be distraction, and because of that, they don't want to go to the hospital because they believe they won't be as free as they will on a normal day. They can't really go out like they want. They can't go to party whenever they're in the hospital because they're in the hospital for a particular reason, and because of that, they're not mobile enough. If they want to go out, you need to sign a consent form, and you need to let the hospital or the nurses, the staff of the ward you are in, to know wherever you are going. You're going to sign a consent form, and at the same time, you need to be on that timely supervision of when you're going to come back, because at a particular point in time, you need to take your medication, you need to go for surgery, you need to go for scan, and if you are nowhere to be found, it might affect your treatment as well. So because of that, people can't really go out the way they want. And because there is time for menu, time for breakfast, lunch, and you need to be available so you can eat at that time. Because most times when you are not available during lunchtime, during dinner, and you might not be able to have access to that meal, you might be left with no option and take something snacks like sandwich. Another reason is that people don't want to go to the hospital because they believe it sends a kind of wrong signal to their mental well-being. They believe they might be traumatized, they might be scared, they don't know what's going to happen next, they don't know how worse their condition is going to get into as time goes on, because some people, to be honest, have gone to the hospital just for checkup and they were being admitted, and before you know it, things change and they don't get out of it, or maybe they have to resort to some other acute treatment that can affect their life. So, because they've had experiences from people around them, friends and families, they don't want to experience that. So they prefer to stay back at home or to manage their health condition because of the phobia they have for the hospital environment. Another reason is that some people, based on their religion, their culture, do not want to be treated or attended to by a particular set of people. Maybe because of their religion, they don't like to be attended to by a man, a male staff, or a female staff. They don't want to open their body if they need to check it, because you're in the hospital, you've come for a particular reason, and you need to be assessed. Your body needs to be assessed to know what is going on there. You might need to do some bladder scan to check what is happening, do ECG. Because of your religion, because of your culture, you're not comfortable because it's against your belief. So people don't want to go to the hospital because of that belief. I think this is awkward because I believe that is what hospital is meant for. Hospital is meant for treatment when you're not feeling so good. But that is how life is. Another reason is people are scared or they are not sure of the kind of hospitality they're going to receive when they go to the hospital, in the sense that some have experienced a kind of abuse from staff, from patients, maybe that are in the same ward or the same space together, and they don't want to be tormented by people's way of life. They don't want to experience any bad treatment, maybe the way people talk to them, or they feel that people are not really feeling, maybe staff are not really feeling the way they are. They're not really in line with the way they are feeling. They believe they're not emotional enough. They are not being compassionate enough. They're not so caring enough. And because at times, maybe a staff comes to you and say, "Oh, you need to do this," and "Oh, I don't want." Like some believe that some staff might persist, like, "Oh, you need to do this thing now," even when they don't want to do it, and they believe because of that they are not being reasonable enough, they're not being passionate enough, they're not really feeling the way they are feeling right now. So because of that, they believe it's an abuse on them and they don't want to experience anything like that. So instead, they prefer to stay back at home and nurse their condition till whatever happens happen. Comment in the comment section if you are in this category of people that don't want to go to the hospital because of some of these reasons or other ones that I've not mentioned. To be honest, I think we need to voice out, we need to air our views whenever we're not feeling too well. You can't say because of some reasons that are so awkward or not tenable, that is why you will go to the hospital. You are made to go to the hospital for checkup so that your case won't get worse. There are some things that when we tackle it quickly, it solves a lot of things, because it's teaching time saves life. But if you don't do it, or if you don't take action quickly and it gets worse, it's going to be a sorry case at the end of the day. So comment in the comment section if you have ever had any experience with people, or you know someone that doesn't want to go to the hospital because of some reasons, and or maybe you yourself, or maybe you don't want to go to the hospital for some of these reasons as well. I think we should use this medium. I think I've been able to use this medium to encourage somebody to do away with some of our beliefs, go to the hospital whenever we are sick, see the hospital as just like a soothing balm to our pains, to our ailments, so that we won't end up in where we don't want to be. Because some people will say, I don't believe I can be this, I don't believe I'll be doing this condition, obviously. But there are times that we neglect some things happening to us. We manage some conditions that are happening to us because we believe, I don't want to go to the hospital because of the stress involved, because of the stress involved. Most time we just have to take the decision just to please our health and live a healthy life. Alright, now, if my content suits you, if you like my kind of content, why don't you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Tobi-Oba Wilson? Comment in the comment section, like and share my page, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers and bye.